Okay, well, looks like things are working. Time to get some horses. Whoa, 23 people here. Man, Ronnie's being a little weird today, so I'll get him in a bit maybe. Luke's having fun. I'm gonna put one more girl in with him. I had quite a few comments, not quite a few actually, quite a few relative to this channel. A few comments where everybody of those people that had commented had felt super sorry for little Miss because she was in with 2 boys and Lena. And some people made the mistake that it was 3 boys. Oh, you put 1 female in with 3 males. And obviously she held her own and stuff, but here's Luke in with 3 girls. I wonder how what's the difference, if there's a difference, you know. Like, look at him getting pushed around by Gracie, and Yoka tells him to go away. She won't listen to him. Lena's the only one who's half listening, and she's in heat. Okay, let's get one more girl in here and see what happens, because Luke's kind of fun this way, and we'll get Mr. Wild and then try Roni again. Gracie's a little odd, going all over the place. It's cold today. It's about 5 degrees. Have a fresh hot coffee with me to hang out with everybody for a little bit before chores. Okay, let's get one more. Okay, let's see what he does with 4 girls. Gotta go over and check out the little one. She's made it over. She's $1,000. Well, almost. She's pretty good at roly-poly. Big shake. She kicks Luke, almost. Luke gives her his butt. She says, "No caresies, stupid brown horse," and wanders off. Fantastic. Good. Poor Luke's all alone. I gotta put his best buddy in a second, because he's waiting, calling out to me. So it's kind of it's not as chilly as it is over in Ontario. Marie, over in Ontario. Hang on, let's go to the beginning of these comments. There's a pile of them. Good morning, everybody. It is a little cold, not drizzly, but it could be a little foggy, as you can see in the trees. Oh, Luke's winning. He says, "I'm not giving up on this moving you around business." We won't have any luck like that with Gracie. She'll kick his butt. Okay, let's check some comments. Sparky Bacon. Hello, Carol and Tina and Marilyn. This place is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. It's very beautiful. Even on the kind of cloudy days, I zoom way out and just sort of look at it. The only thing that I don't like is the road, but you gotta take the pros with the cons. One day I'll be at a different place. Once I make my first million, you know. Yeah, Marie's here over in Ontario. Gracie's the life of the party. She sure is. Gma's here. Good morning. And Teresa. Hello, Teresa. Mrs. R, first time on a live stream. Cool. Well, this is where we ask and answer questions, if you'd like. Watch the horses play. It's a good little backdrop. It got blurry. It might get blurry here and there. Sometimes when I zoom in too far, it's hard to zoom. Forgive me if I get it a little bit weird. You have to do it with your fingers. It's not like it's a slider or nothing. So you got to pinch. Anyhow, what else we got? Shillelagh, I'm guessing. Come to England and train our Shetlands and we will feed you marmalade sandwiches. My mom, most of my family, mom's side, is all from England. And I remember my mom buying marmalade. And that stuff is gross. I would never eat it again. At least from what I remember of it. So no thanks for the marmalade sandwiches, but I'd happy to be able to come by and we'll play around with some Shetlands. That'd be fun. Visit some family maybe. It's a great idea actually. Wait for this pandemic to close down. Naomi's here. Good morning, Naomi. Yvonne's here. Hello. Dee Dee's here. Good morning. Some people it's afternoon, isn't it? Kathy's here. Good morning, Kathy. And KK. Why do they roll? Because they're itchy. Horses can't scratch their own backs without rolling. So they roll and scratch and yeah. KK says, how's the cost of living in BC? Well, I just read an article this morning. I always try to catch up on a little bit of the news when I wake up, answer comments, look at the news a little bit, and it turns out the cost of living has gone up about 5% here in BC. Food prices primarily and fuel. But overall, it's not too bad. Yeah. Do we have empty grocery shelves in BC? A little bit. Not a lot. A little bit here and there. Oddly enough, mostly the cereals are out. You go down the cereal aisle and half the aisle's empty. What else is low? I think that's about it. Some spices, actually, the spice aisle is oddly empty. Weird. Donna says a cup of coffee, hot coffee sounds good. It is. It's lovely. Teresa's here. Good morning. Sue's here. Hello, Sue. Sparky Bacon's in Alberta. Yeah. Canada is pretty interesting right now. Over on the east coast, I guess it's the same in the States, but the east coast of North America. Massive snowfalls, supposedly. Yeah. Kind of like what we had, but probably more. Anyways, it sucks. Teresa says her shelves are pretty good. Kathy's living in Oshawa. Got hit hard with the snow. Yep. Gabriella's here. Good morning. From the UK. Hello, Missy. Missy's here. Is Martine here? Martine is here. Good morning, Martine. Over in France. Teresa says Little Miss is her favorite. Gonna miss her when she goes home. Yeah, me too. She'll be here. I don't know how long she'll be here. Her owner's sort of keeping an eye on things and watching her progress and stuff like that. Quite happy so far, which is nice. So we've got at least a month still with her, so that's good. Marilyn asks, question, do you use bits at all? If not, please explain why. Somebody had asked in the comments about that. I don't know if it was you. Maybe not. It was just recent, so Chris S is here. Good morning. A good bug repellent, mud and dirt when a horse rolls. It's true. We don't have any bugs at the moment, but it's true. Do I use bits? No, I never use a bit. Why? Kathy, that's an easy one. I'll answer it in a second. Actually, you know what? Let's go get one of my other personal horses, and then I'll come back to the bits question. Okay, next horse is in. Of course, the boys are going to play. Okay, bits. It's unfortunate that bits is such a contentious issue in the horse world. It's really unfortunate that so many conversations need to happen about them, but they do. And man, Mr. Wild really gets his feet up high, eh? I mean, he goes up and over Luke's back. I mean, there'd have to be a horse on top of a horse for him to even hit. Weirdo. So I don't use bits. Wowzers. The reason I don't use bits is because I don't feel like I would ever need to. I don't imagine a scenario where I would need to. And the reason I don't imagine a scenario I would need to is because I would never ride a horse that was so worried while I'm riding them that I would have to use a piece of metal in their mouth to control them. I don't think there's anybody around that can argue the idea that metal in a horse's mouth is likely painful. in some cases scarring. um, and it's just not the relationship I want with my horses. I've never had better results from using a bit. I've never had better results using pain. These boys are pretty excited today. There is a lot of action happening. Luke better figure this out though. He better get that boy sorted out, because he's getting a little bit big for his britches. He's already kicked him once in the shoulder. He's saying, I hope I don't have to do this again. Little Miss is getting a little funny, isn't she? Hopping around. Yoka just stands there. Sort it out, boys. I don't really know why Yoka has a deep voice like that, but she just does. So there. Anyhow, so bits are, just one of those things that some people feel it's fine to use because they have soft hands, and I'm not telling anybody what to do. You can all do whatever you want. If you wonder what I do and why I do it, that's why I do it. It's just not the relationship I want with my horses. Plus, I have watched people ride horses with nothing on them and have complete control. How they got them there, I don't know, but they're doing it now. There's a show that comes to Vancouver once in a while called Cavalia. I can't remember where they're based out of. If anybody knows, chuck it in the comments. But the show Cavalia is insane. It is magical. Really, really great horsemanship, great horse riding going on. And when I watch them ride around in all kinds of patterns, and if she knocks that barrel out of the arena, she's good. But when I watch them ride around with no bits, no nothing, not even a halter, not a head stall, they just hop on these things and off they go with their body. I think to myself, why on earth use a bit? So if somebody else can do something, I can do it. If I can do it, somebody else can do it. That's what I think. And I think every horse has the ability to do these things. Holy smokes, they're alive now. Somebody press the on switch. So that's why I don't use bits. I don't think it's two things. One, it's not the relationship I want with my horses. Two, if plenty of other people can get the same job done without a bit, well then so can I. And that's my goal. Okay, next question was from Kathy, I believe. Let's see. How many are your personal horses? 5. 5 are mine. Mr. Wild, who is right there, that brown horse there. Or is that Luke? Nope, that's Luke, sorry. That's Luke. Mr. Wild, the other brown horse. Lena, right behind him. And then Gracie, right behind him as well. Yoka, here, is not mine, and Little Miss is not mine. And Roni, way at the back, is a quarter horse, which we'll go get soon. He's being weird back there. I went to get him earlier. He's also mine, so I have 5. Okay, moving on. Oh, Chris S. answered the question. Little Miss and Yoka are the only 2 no. Gamer's here, hello. Yvonne says, my geldings were covered with snow this morning. Found them in the trees, just as happy as could be. Gamer says, you drove your truck to do trailer training. Yes. Otherwise, it's very hard to lift that trailer up. Sharon's here from Ontario. Hello. Stuart's here. Hello, Stuart. 6 horses. Not bad. Megan says hello. Hello, Megan. Good morning. Gamer says, why did you have to say goodbye to your first horse? Because she was injured beyond repair of the abilities that I had and the conditions in the environment and situation at the time. Carol says, I agree. Probably talking about bits. Droodle's here. I'm 15 and moving away from my schooling barn sometime soon. I'm going to learn as much horse behavior as I can so I can understand my own horse's brain someday. Well, when you get it figured out, let me know, because I'm still working on it myself. Kathy says if you can train them without, it's wonderful. Yeah, I agree. Talking about bits. Sparky loves Cavalia. Was able to see it twice. I think I've seen it once. I don't know, maybe twice. Definitely once. Just loved it. Just loved it. I'd go again. Missy's got to go. Be well, Missy. Sorry COVID's got you. Hopefully everything just goes away. Martine says they're quiet today. Yeah, a little bit. Generally when the weather is a little less sunny or less crisp, I guess, they all just sort of get quieter. Olives is here. Good morning. Gabriella's got some COVID as well. Get well soon. Yeah, I'll go get Ronnie in a second, Chris. He's all on his own. Sue says there's a young trainer out your way in BC who's developed her own bridles, one bitless and one without a full noseband. She's had a saddle maker on fairly regularly. Cool. Sharon says, when I was a little girl, I thought horses were magical and communicate with us by the mind. I think that sometimes to this day. And I've come to the conclusion that it's close. And the reason I think that is because of horses' observation skills. They are master observers. They can see and interpret so much that we don't, because they spend so much time observing for survival. And unlike us, they don't talk, so they have to use other methods to communicate. And if you couldn't talk and had to use other methods to communicate, you'd be really good at it too. Let's go get Roni. Hopefully this goes well. taking care of a bunch of kindergartners. Okay, don't fight. At least not too much. Whatever. Okay. Coffee's getting a little... Could be warmer. Getting a drink. Huh. Interesting, eh? Okay. Back to Sharon's comment about horses being magical. They are. They're totally magical. My goodness. Naomi says she saw the Cavalia show as well. Loved it. I don't know anybody who's come out of that and been like, meh, mediocre. It's always amazing. Watch a whole pile of horses running around. Was there a squirrel? A squirrel came running across. There's tons of them around here. Sarah's here. Hello, Sarah. Cora's here. Hello, Cora. Squirrel ran across the arena. Yeah. We have a lot of squirrels here, and the funniest thing about them, in my opinion, one of the funniest things, is that they'll hide their little chestnuts that they get from the tree beside the arena here. Actually, there's a few chestnut trees around here. In the arena. So I'll go to harrow the arena and I'll be pulling up chestnuts all over the place. Jodell Fields is here. Just got in. No, you didn't miss too much. We're only 40 minutes in. Sarah's here from West Sussex in the UK. Thanks for popping in. Good morning. Naomi says, if you ever get a chance to see the show, don't hesitate. I agree. We'll see when it comes here next time. I'll definitely go. And it's been a little while since it's been here last. Pandemics don't help situations once. It's gone, hopefully. Get back to it. Oh no! You have to put your mini pony down. That sucks. The founder is just too bad. Are you sure? You can't put some Easy Boot Clouds on those feet and just keep trying to recover them? Easy Boot Clouds are rehab boots. A lot of horses have come out of it with those. They're a little pricey, but they last a long time. Fantastic for rehab because they give horses a second chance. That video that I put up of my first horse, she had on Easy Boots, but I had padded them. So before Easy Boot Clouds came out, you could pad your boots, and so it's the same thing. It's just a Easy Boot Cloud is a boot with a big pad inside, soft pad. And so I'd done that, and it just changed her life for a while until something else happened, and then that was that. Why are they all down at the other end? Why can't they be at this end? Anyway, sorry to hear that. That sucks. I'm sure you did everything you could. Gloria says, Little Miss did great with the trailer training. She did fantastic. She really did. Yeah, it's always hard to let a horsey go. You guys are so great saying how you feel. Hopefully that's a bit of support. Julian had to put her doggy down. Liver failure. Sorry to hear that. That sucks. Zeus is getting old. Well, he's outside. I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if he'll come down. that sucks. It's hard to watch them in pain thinking you can fix it. I agree. I agree. That is definitely the hard part. Yeah. The miss is going to kick Luke again. I hope so. He deserves at least one. Yeah, she won't kind of, I mean, she is right now, but she sometimes doesn't really go well with him. She's like, look, I want to march to the beat of my own drum, not yours. He's like, but my drum's better. So he keeps working on it. Here comes Gracie. She's come up to tell him to bring it up. Or she wants to join in. But there you go. Sooner or later, horses just kind of work it out. Quite a few people will pop in and say they're really worried about the horses, and some people ask, well, why do you put them together if they're going to have an argument and stuff? And it's like, I put them together so they can have the argument. Otherwise, it's really stressful. It's like, if any of you have been office workers and you're in cubicles and you're the person next to you in a cubicle, like, chews gum real loud or something, or is a clicky click pen person, clicky click 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 click, you know, and you just want to say, can you please stop clicking your pen? It's driving me mad. And but your boss just says, don't say a word. You know, that stress, that desire to be able to say something and hopefully get a positive response, or at least something. Until that happens, they don't get peaceful and turn into a herd. You know, team members have to think of other team members. And it's hard to think of other team members if you're not communicating with other team members and stuff. So I want my horses to be a herd. I'll put them together. And so far, so good. It's very rare, actually. Once in a while, I've had a horse that just doesn't mix in or something, and I've had to keep them. It's very unusual. I almost always work it out. AL10 is here. Al10, Alton. I shall call you Alton from now on. Christmas is Rue. I miss Rue too. He's cool. Gabriella says, where are you based? British Columbia, Canada. Sue says, Mr. Wild. Mr. O'Wild is still my guy. He's great. He's a really cool horse. Leadfoot Mama's here. Is that because you drive fast? Good morning. Sarah cut off a horse from getting ahead to eat grass. It's fantastic. As I mentioned in, I don't know if you've seen the video yet of taking Little Miss out. For everybody that's here that isn't a member, I put up a preview of, took Little Miss out on a field trip yesterday. And I talk a lot about when you're walking with a horse to make, look at this grouping up 5 horses. Who are we missing? Lena and Roni. Roni's actually facing the other way. He doesn't even care about Lena at the moment. Look at these guys herd up. What a crew. Talk about horses cutting people off. And the only reason a horse is allowed to cut off another horse is if they're higher up. So when your horse is saying, I'm going to cut you off because I want to do something, you can allow it if that's what you want in your relationship with your horsey. And I encourage that to not happen. Getting smoky. It's a little hazy, yeah. So good job, Sarah. KK says, I was watching Little Miss with the hooves being trimmed. How long did it take? It took exactly as long as you saw. No cuts. I try not to put any cuts in my videos. I hate watching a video of horse training and somebody puts a cut somewhere and they come back and it's like something got sorted. Look here. What got sorted? How'd you do it? The worst person for doing that I ever found, just stopped watching years and years ago, was Clinton Anderson. And I'll never ever forget this one video where he was trying to get this horse to side pass, I think. And he couldn't do it. And he says, well, we're going to cut here. And he comes back and the horse is sweating. I mean, sweating. And he says, okay, well, we got this sorted out. And he proceeds to take his stick or crop or whatever, whip, whatever he had, and starts whacking the horse on the side to get a side pass to go. And the first thing that occurred to me when I watched that, I thought, well, why'd you do the cut? What'd you do within that cut? And why are you still at a state of having to hit your horse to get it to do anything? What did you do in that time that you couldn't get past the idea that you had to hit your horse? That's just insane. That was it. It was the last video I ever watched of that loser. But nothing good to say about Clinton Anderson. So that's that. No cuts. It took as long as it took for you to watch it. I like horses this year. Cool. Good morning. Arguments are good because you might learn something, hopefully. The horses aren't competing for resources. I think that helps. Says, who is that? Alton. All right. Yes. One of the major stressors for horses is food. Horses eat differently than we do. Much different. Their body is built way different. They are constantly creating stomach acid. It never stops. Unlike us, our stomach acid is created when we eat. So no eating, no stomach acid. I mean, for the most part. But horses, no. They'll create buckets of the stuff. And without eating, that just builds up and builds up. And unlike us as well, only 2/3 of their stomach is lined with a protective coating. The top third is not. As such, when they move around and there's no food in there and there's a gallon of acid sloshing around, it is really painful. And they know that food alleviates that. So competing for food isn't just about being hungry, it's pain relief. It's like if you had a headache and there's one bottle of Tylenol and it had 2 pills in it and there's 4 of you in the room, you all have a headache. Horses also don't share. They're incredibly selfish animals. Yeah, in that regard, it's incorrect to call them selfish. I would say they're just, looking out for themselves as a priority for survival. That's what they know. Look at these guys rolling around. All the boys are thinking about rolling. Mr. Wild's about to go down. Big shake for Roni. He's gonna go hassle Mr. Wild. Says, you should have rolled while you had the chance, sucker. These two are fantastic. I know Roni kind of gets a bad rap because he's always running around protecting Lena or whatever the hell he's doing. But he is a really cool horse. I love it when the boys play. I could watch them all day long. The problem is, I won't get any chores done. Oop, hard to keep them all in frame. I guess we'll keep the fun ones in frame. He's a great horse. Fantastic to be with. Great ride. Very sensitive. He would excel at Cavalia, I believe. lot of chitty chat today. Horses are busy. Quiet earlier, louder now. And Martine, if you're still here, it's amazing your network's holding up. It's really good. Okay, let's check some comments. So yeah, not competing for resources is fantastic. The horses here always have food in their tummy, so they're not in pain, they're not getting ulcers. They get to just sort of be horses, and there's nothing to compete for in the arena. They just have to socialize, so that's their job. Socialize, co-groom, fight, whatever. Run around, get exercise. It's good. Chris from Alabama is here. Hello, Chris from Alabama. Good morning. Gabriella grew up in Transylvania. Oh, that's cool. You must be asked if you've ever seen any vampires or something. Maybe that's just my silly Canadian humor. The horses there are let out on their days out with cows and neighbors' horses, letting them be natural, something more people should get the feel of. I received an email the other day from a well-meaning lady, and she says, I sure hope you can get enough money one day to build a really big barn, and you can put some stalls in, and you can bring all the horses in and keep them nice and toasty warm, and get some straw and all that kind of stuff, and pamper them. And I know that she meant really, really well by it, so I tried to be gentle in my response. And I simply said, horses, if you go into any barn, you're going to find, I'll wait for this truck to pass. It's a big one. If you go into any barn, you're going to find stalls that have been chewed up, kicked, generally ravaged by the horses that are stuck inside of them. Every stall you see is going to have a latch that a horse cannot open. And that's all for a reason. All these things are there for a reason. Just looking at that alone is such an incredible discouragement to me to put a horse in a stall. But if we think about the practical side of it, of a horse being in a 12 by 12 closet of a room for them, it would be like us being in like a 6 by 6 room. Can't really lie down. You're in there for 12 hours. You have to go to the bathroom in there. Imagine going to the bathroom in a 6 by 6 room. That's where you eat. That's where your water is. Your neighbors are doing the same thing next to you. And it's absolutely no surprise that horses are kicking and pawing and chewing and reaching over the edge to undo the locks and all that kind of stuff. And I responded back. I just said, this is what I think horses feel when they're in places like that. Come on, buddy, make it over. 1,000. 1,500 so far. Start out with 2,500. One more. Come on, pal. You can do it. Here we go. Oh, not yet. Just having to lie down. Nope, he's up. Shake. And so I said, I don't think it's pampering a horse to place them in a small room like that. I think it's the actual opposite. Although I do understand some people feel that placing them in a warm, comfy place with straw or sawdust or something is good. I get that. But you have to lock them in for a reason. I challenge any of those people to just leave those locks and doors off. Oh, you got kicked in the chest. You got a little baby kick. Those horses won't stay in there long. They'll leave. So that to me is kind of what I see. Kick him again. Here comes Luke. He's going to sort this out. Now they're all at the front, it's hard to keep track of them. Yeah. So yeah. Resources. Sue says she saw one of Clinton Anderson's videos where he had the poor horse on the ground. Not for medical reasons. Yeah, that guy is an utter fool. It just amazes me that anybody watches him. It just blows me away that anybody thinks what he does as a whole. I mean, I haven't watched him in a long time. I'm sure he's got a few things figured out, but the mentality has stalled out in that lad. They're smoking. These horses are always smoking. A bunch of addicts. Megan watched him rope a feral bull. The rope was so tight they couldn't get it off. Humans are weird, eh? Sarah says she loves Roni. There are no bad horses. I agree. Alex Bear is here. Hello. Good morning. Teresa, good morning. I don't think I've said good morning to you yet, have I? Teresa Cross. Oh, Sparky's off to do chores. Have a great day over in Alberta. Ida's here. Good morning, Ida. You missed an hour. No worries, you can always rewind. It's been fun. Horses have been running around pretty good. Lots of good questions so far. Teresa says, you explained why you had them in open paddocks and their winter coats. It was very educational. Fantastic. Alton says she hates stabling. They need to move around. Yeah. If not injured, absolutely. That's another thing actually stabling does, is it sticks them in a room for a minimum of 12 hours usually. And they can't move. They can't move around. Horses need a lot of walking around. That's why I usually have the water buckets far away from their food. So when they eat, they got to walk all the way across their paddock, which granted isn't that far, but still enough that they've got to constantly be moving around. You don't want them standing in one spot. It's bad for their feet, bad for their legs, just like us. Go ahead and be a cashier one day and see how it feels. It's awful. Maxie over in Nova Scotia, I guess. Part of your name. If the horses eat most of the time to keep their stomach stocked, is it bad to take them for a 3-hour or longer trail ride? No, I don't believe so. It takes a while for their stomach to empty out. It takes, I think a full stomach takes about 6 hours. I haven't found any hard evidence. I found one person who had the hard evidence in her hands, but because it was behind a paywall, she wasn't willing to share it. I said, okay. But I believe it takes about 6 hours for a stomach to empty. While on your 3 or more hour trail ride, it's fantastic to be able to stop here and there, wherever they can, to nibble on stuff, whether it's twigs or leaves or grass or whatever. That's what I would suggest. If you can do it, great. If you can't, well, yeah. 3 or 4 hours or so is fine. Was that Oscar doing a little squeak? Yeah, he squeaks all the time. Megan says it's a slowly changing paradigm. Stalling a horse. Yeah, it's true. It's coming down. Leadfoot says, do you use bits when you ride? I'm guessing you came after I answered the bits question earlier in this stream, and I will simply say I do not. Ever. If you're wondering why, you'll have to rewind. I'll see if I can't later on when this is downloadable. I'll see if I can't pick that part out and make just take some excerpts from the live stream. But I don't use bits, never ever. Do you ever let the horses have playtime? Poofcat says. In the covered area in the back. No. The covered area is not a playtime area. Diana here from Oregon. How big is your arena where they are playing? I did a whole video on the size of everything here. It's called How Big Are My Paddocks or something like that. But this arena is about 80 by 180. Slightly off of that, but that's pretty close to what it is. I built it myself, so I should know the exact measurements, but I can't remember. I think it's very close to 80, and I know it's definitely 180 long. The limitation on the width, I would have preferred closer to 100 width, but the limitation was this big cedar tree here that I was going to cut down because it's going to die anyways. And then I was recommended that I don't cut it down. It's so iconic. I thought, yeah, right, I'll leave it. And in the end, I'm glad I did. The arena's big enough. It's good for everything I need. Stalled horses have behavioral problems, says Dan. True. I actually have a video that I can't release, unfortunately. It's not my horse, not my location, but I wanted to study it, so I took this little video of this horse that was weaving really badly. And I couldn't understand why. I still don't understand why. But I encourage people to watch and observe and think about those kinds of things. It was an older horse, I imagine, based on its behaviors, that it had been a stalled horse or competition horse, dressage horse, something along those lines, that just was not let to be a horse. It is now, so hopefully it'll maybe one day come out of it. But yeah, sad case, man. I see weaving horses too much. Unsocialized, bored, whatever. I don't know, I'd be making assumptions. Head ticks, tongue sticking out, playing with their tongue. See those ones? I have another one of those videos from a long time back. This horse just playing with their tongue, just sticking it out and flicking it around all over the place. Just really odd, weird behavior. Xanthi Fet. Hopefully that's how you pronounce that. Got a bracelet with Unix hair. Oh yeah, the Frisian. Yeah. Ronnie is so nice because he never collects 2 punches for making the other horses flinch. Man, that's an old game, eh? We would play that in school all the time. Made you flinch. Whack, whack. Yeah, great memories. Bitless is handy for nibbling stops. True. Horses do have a hard time chewing when they have a bit in their mouth. And plenty of people say don't let your horse eat while riding because of the bit. And it is true. Grass, longer grass especially, can get wound up in a bit and stuck, and you'll be pulling it out. Is your gimbal on the fritz? No, it isn't. I don't have my gimbal. I'm on a tripod that sucks. I've tried oiling it, but it's still just as sticky. So I need a new gimbal, or not a new gimbal, a new little tripod that my phone goes on. Sorry about the noise. I'll try not to move it much. Thanks for making me aware of that, Ida. Xanthi says, I love seeing this channel. You do a great job with horses and really read their body language. Thank you for sharing with us. Well, thank you for saying so. You're welcome. My pleasure. Redfoot says, sorry I missed the question. No worries. You ride bitless also? Cool. Yeah, it's a long answer. That's the only reason why I'm not going to repeat it, but it's in there. You have to rewind. I think I answered it at about the 30-minute mark or something like that. If you check the chat, if it's still in there, then that would give the time when I answered. But essentially, I think it's unneeded. And to summarize, actually, I'll just summarize it really quickly. Using a bit has never made things better for me, and in turn, I just don't see it as something that I would use to improve my relationship with my horses. I had just finished watching Trailer Training. Well done. Thank you kindly. Ringo Cats from here from Scotland. Welcome. And good morning. Well, it's morning for me. Ooh, I finally made it all the way through the comments. Cool. Well, Jim the Jock's here. Meeting a new horse in the weekend. She's a foal. She's going to be a field friend to a horse who's recently lost her friend. Can't wait to meet her, see if I can make friends. Oh, good for you. That'd be great. Take it slow, be patient. Sure, it'll work out just great. Coffee is done. Teresa says, in my limited riding, I've only used a bitted bridle, but always hated them. This ours in SoCal, South California. Yeah. The day I figured out it was actually a long time ago. Hassan's here. Hello. Good morning. To not use a bit was on my first horse. So it was a long time ago. And every time I used the bit with her, she just hated it. Her head would be high. She wouldn't respond as well. And I took it off and I just had the halter and I tried to ride with that. And her head went low. She quieted. The ride was smoother. Everything was more peaceful. And that's when I started to really question the horse world in general, the classical horse world. And I thought, is there a better way to do things? What is it and why and how? And with my critical thinking hat on, I just said, I'm going to give this a different go. And I did, and I never turned back. Never found a need for a bit ever again. And I actually had, going on the same line of thought, I had a good friend say to me, she says, you're really unusual. And I said, why is that? She goes, usually people go the other way. They start with the bit and go down to the halter. And I said, yeah, I get that. Because it's like shouting at somebody to start whispering at them. Yoka's playing Queen of the Bridge. She is Queen of the Bridge. And I always want to see if whispering works. I try to be real quiet at first. And if I can get real quiet to work, then I have no need to shout. No need to yell. I want to keep on going back to whispering. I never want to leave the whisper status. Anyways. Xanthi says, I got her name right. Fantastic. Whoop. Luke is always getting yelled at by Gracie. He just doesn't get it right. Oh, that's not even Luke. Luke's the other way. Damn it. I don't even know my own horses. I'm looking at the phone, that's why. Mr. Wild got yelled at. Well, good luck, buddy. How can I probably become a Western horse trainer? I don't know. Play with horses? Diana says it puts that myth to bed. Which myth? I'm curious. In the old days, Pony Club said no to bitless. Yeah. It's a weird culture, eh? It's so stuck in the 1800s, it's crazy. It's like, if you have to ride a horse, this is just my opinion, just take it for whatever it's worth. Nobody has to think what I think or do what I do. But I think that if you have to use a bit to ride a horse, you shouldn't be riding the horse. If that horse won't stop from a light request, a whisper, well, it's just not what I want. It's not what I want. I get it. There's all kinds of cultures and competitions and stuff where they feel that bits do everything. But if that's the case, then how come they can do it in Cavalia? That's what I want to know. If other people can do it, then why do other people need tie downs and chains and twisted bits and spade bits? And I just don't understand. And I need to know the answer sometimes, but I don't care that much to go ask anybody. I shall live in my own echo chamber. Okay. Marilyn says, would you use a bin with a grate made of material that would not damage a horse's multiplier continues? No, I would not. I would use hay nets. Sarah says, is bitless riding catching on? Yes, it is. Diana says, must end. Ida says, and spurs. Diana, what? Mustangs. Ah, Mustangs and Wildies. Puts that mess to bed. Mustangs. Sorry, Dan, I'm still lost. Can you write out a whole sentence for me, please? Spurs. Spurs are bad. That's an easy one. That is such an easy one. Whenever I see spurs on boots, I really do hope that they just put them on for decoration. I remember watching Buck Brenneman one time, and he's like, I don't wear spurs to use them. I wear them like a girl puts on earrings. They're just jewelry. They're just decoration. And I thought, cool. That's fine. Whatever. It's part of the culture. It really is. And that's fine. I have no problem with people dressing up. If they want to dress up. But I've seen plenty of spur usage. Horses missing hair. White hair. Pigmentation is lost due to damage. And people who rely on spurs for everything. Every movement. Forwards, backwards, sideways, left, right. Everything. They just can't stop poking their horse with a piece of metal. It's wrong. I think it's wrong. Take from that what you will. I think there are much better ways to do it. Diana says, the myth is Mustangs and Wilders can't be treated the same. The same as domestics? That's an interesting statement. No worries. I get it now. It's an interesting thought. I think it really depends on how you treat the domestics. Because in some cases, being really brash, loud, and insensitive to domestic horses, they've become so numb to it. Like spurs, for example. Spurs is the equivalent of yelling. Crops are the equivalent of yelling. And some horses will tolerate those crops and those spurs all day long. It's just normal. They don't think anything of it. But you saw the video where I just pat, 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 little miss, and she freaked out. So maybe in the end, if you could make a horse dull to yelling, you could treat them the same. But the domestic ones, the ones that are born in captivity, and Ronnie's got a hold of Mr. Wild on his neck. It's going to be a little fuzzy. But he's got him good. He just had him, just chomped on him and didn't let go. Oh, David's here. Hello, sir. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Just talking to everybody about stuff.
Oh, you're live streaming.
Yeah. And where was I? So I think that you can treat them the same in the end, but not in the beginning. How much do you own on the right side of the arena? The fence line plus 5 feet or so. So all that green over there is my neighbor's yard, and I own essentially the ditch and just slightly, just barely, about 5-6 feet. That's David. He owns Yoka. Are you a cowboy? I am not a cowboy. Ida says hello, David. Well, I'll tell him when he gets back. Yoka's his horse, little Icelandic. Lena could take on any of the others, no problem. Maybe. She's pretty tough. Man, when it gets quiet here, it gets quiet. It's really nice. Super peaceful. And it says, "Thank you for the explanation." You're welcome. It's interesting. I think about it a lot, and it's one of the reasons why I want to get more and more wildies in here, as I can then do direct comparisons across the board and take averages. You know, are all wildies this amazing? So far, 2 of them are utterly amazing. 2 out of 2 that I've had. Actually, I had another little wildie here. It's this little guy. His name was Duke. I only have a few videos of him, but he was a neat little guy. He sure put up with a lot. But he'd already been with somebody for a little bit, and so my job was just to get him used to a bit more stuff, and that was that. He was here for about a month or 2. So I guess this is, and then I had that Mustang, and that was totally different, but she was sent real far backwards from some of the handling she had. And so that was different. These wildies, 2 for 2, are just absolutely amazing. I think everybody on the planet should have a BC Wildie if you can get one. They are great horses. Super smart. Super willing to give things a go. Willing to trust. Willing to be a friend and make a friend. Have a friend. It's fantastic. So. So fluffy. Feels like cotton candy. Oh man. Yeah, that movie's funny. I've seen that movie at least 10 times. And it's hilarious every time I watch it. David's got to watch himself in there with 7 horses. There he goes. Yuka follows him everywhere. What's behind you?
I need a rope.
You do need a rope.
I need a tail.
It's always safer, man.
I know, I thought of that as I walked out.
I used to give Haley a piece of rope that was about this long.
Yeah.
And she would just tuck it in her pants. No pockets on girls' pants, right? So I'd get her to just tuck it just in the waistband here. I said, carry this when you go around and do anything. And so she'd be able to kind of take that out and shake it around, and all the horses would
Respond.
they'd get that sorted out real fast, and it would be much safer. So, and there's plenty of times when I did too. I would carry that. I think it's in the small barn, but
Yeah, I know.
No, I don't.
Put myself out in the middle there.
there's a chance. But it's pretty slim. They've kind of all run around and done their thing here for a bit, and now they're sorted out and relatively happy. It's unusual to see her scratch
I don't know if I've ever
her
seen her do
chest.
that.
I don't think I've ever seen her do it either. But she's got an itchy chest. Hey! Now she's chewing on the fence. So we say no to that. Hopefully I didn't scare everybody with a clap.
You're filthy again. I like it when it was snowing.
Everybody says hello.
Howdy.
David says howdy. Treat your horses as you want to be treated. I agree. Megan says she'd love a Wildie. A Mustang would be so great. Just need a solid beginner first horse that is also a Wildie. Well, that's what I'm trying to create here, to be honest. I want people to have first horses as Wildies so they can learn the sensitivity that is required to be around horses, or is good to be around horses. Let's zoom out a bit. Everybody's up close now. So, no, it's a wide shot. The whole scene is in the scene now. Everybody's up at the top. For the majority of the live stream, everybody's been down at the bottom. So it's like these specks of horses while I natter away. People ask questions. Oh, I don't know if Luke got him. Did you hear a thump?
I thought I did.
I thought I did too. If we could see the bruises on the horses from the thumps they give each other. Now you got to pet two horses at the same time. Yeah, you're doing great. The boys will never make it over to Yoka. She will sort those two out lickety split. And these two littles are good friends, actually. These two here, they're good buddies. They get along like
well, that's good.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Not the easiest one to get along with. Are you?
Look at Roni move in. Watching Gracie as well over in the corner here. Making sure she doesn't chew on anything again. Well, have I ever been kicked or bit? Yes, yes I have. Both times are my own horses, actually. I've never been kicked or bit by somebody else's horse. I've been run over by somebody else's horse. But I was bit by Gracie once and kicked by Roni once. That's it. Peas and carrots. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll set you guys up a little wide. I have about a billion chores to do, as always. If anybody wants to watch the horses a little bit, questions have slowed down, so I think it's my cue to actually work. It's always nice to chit chat with everybody. Megan says, is Gracie started under saddle? Yes. You can check out those videos under the playlist of Gracie, where I got her started for riding and horseback archery. Light is out. Bye, Ida. Gracie did really well. And then I put a pause on it because I was busy with other stuff, and yeah, plan to get back to it. Elena, the answer is yes. Marilyn says, never seen Roni act like... Yeah, Roni's pretty playful. He goofs around quite a bit. Got tons of video of him playing. Tons and tons. Sarah's off. Yeah, so what I'll do is maybe we'll shut it down. I'll get my phone back. Hopefully this has been a good little live stream for everybody to be part of. Thanks everybody for coming in. Appreciate it. Hopefully I've answered a pile of questions. And we'll see you guys in the next live stream we do. So I hope everybody has a great day. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Whew, that was a long one.